to my half marathon whenever I trained with Kendra, and there was 3 other ladies who trained with us, which one of them is now my wife, so that was definitely a good ride prior to that. But then I met some other people along the way that trained for my Ironman. I actually met some people that were training for Ironman Arizona, which was 2 weeks after mine. And it just worked out great. We were almost on the same exact training schedule. So I always had people that were there with me that had the same goals. But first of all, what they would do is they were there for accountability. Every Saturday morning when I was training for the half marathon, we met and we ran and did whatever the training plan called for. Now I can tell you after the first, because we met at 7 o'clock on Saturday, and you know, that was a big lifestyle shock to me. But after the first 2 or 3 Saturdays, you got used to that, and you got close to that group. And I may not have been out there so much running for me as it was, I didn't want to let the group down. They're going to be out there waiting on me. They're going to expect me to be there. Same way with my Ironman training. You know, whenever you talk to someone, they're like, okay, we're going to meet out at church out in Rockville to go run. Well, you know, they're out there at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're waiting on you to be out there. You don't want to let them down. So the accountability is a big thing. And it's the same thing in this office. You know, or your friends or whoever it is, you want them to hold you accountable. It just makes things a lot easier for you. It helps keep you on track. You have the same mindset. I can remember one day I was out riding, and I just got my new bike, and I had a 40-mile ride, and it's real early in the training. That's what my plan called for. I'm out riding a loop that I ride a lot, and this group of people that I just kind of met, was just getting to know, they were out running. So I run up beside them, and they're like, well, how far are you going today? I said, well, I'm doing 40 miles. Feeling good about it. They're like, well, when are you going to start your long rides? Why am I supposed to be doing long? You know, but they had the same mindset that, hey, we're trying to get right here, and we need to push ourselves. And it really got me rethinking my training. So it actually was very good for me at that time. You have the same goals. I can remember after an 80-mile ride, one of my group members looked at me. They said, because I was loading up the bike, I was getting ready to head home. They said, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. I'm tired. I'm going to go get some lunch. They're like, we're getting ready to run 6 miles. You know, you got to go run with us. I'm like, no, I just biked the 80 miles. I'm not getting ready to go run. They're like, no, you need to come run with us because you want to be able to cross that finish line when your Ironman's here, and you're going to have to run off the bike there. So, you know, just a lot of accountability within the group. One other thing, and y'all probably heard this, but you know, they say that your income will be the average of the 10 people that are closest to you, your friends, family, whatever. I don't know how true that holds and how true it doesn't hold, but you know, to me it makes sense because it all goes back to this accountability and expectations and everything. I don't think just rich people like running rich people and poor people like running poor people. But you know, I think that again it goes back to the mindset. You know, if you're in the office and you're hanging out with a lot of people who maybe don't use their time as wisely, maybe it's more acceptable to spend longer times at lunch or whatever. That kind of becomes the norm and the expectations that you have too. Whereas if you're hanging out with people that are real focused and on the go and just making things happen, that's kind of what you see. And that's kind of what you expect out of yourself as well. So I would say choose who you hang out with, and you don't just base it upon income, but it's really the people that have the same goals, the same focus as you. Support crew is important. We all know this. My wife was very supportive of me. I couldn't imagine doing something like this if I didn't have 100% cooperation from her, support from her. But it's also the same in our business. It's a lot easier if your spouse supports you. I know several of the top agents, even if their spouse isn't in the business, they may go on appointments with them sometimes, or they may go put out signs for them, or they may do some administrative work for them, or something. So it's very important there. But also, going through this, I can't tell you how many visits I made to Dr. Johnson right next door. He's my chiropractor. Now, I let him know up front what I was doing. I said, man, I got this big race coming up. I'm going to be beating up my body, and I need you to keep my body, you know, where it can function properly. I went to go see a massage therapist. She knew exactly what I was doing and what my goals were. It's the same thing for us in our business. You know, I think a lot of times we may use someone, whether it's a loan officer or a title company or something like that, because, you know, we like them, they're nice people. And that's great, but do they have the same goals as you? Do they have the same customer service expectations that you have? Do they have the same mentality as far as meeting the closing date? Do they, you know, I mean, all those things. So make sure, I mean, we all know that having good people in our corner like that's important, but I think this really just really brought it to light for me. And I was talking to someone, what was it? Last night, I think. We were talking about you know, now you're really starting to see who the people are that are really good at their jobs and the people who aren't, because, you know, back in the day, especially with loan officers and things, it was a lot easier for them to kind of cover up that they, you know, it's so easy to get a loan, I guess, that maybe they didn't have to know all the details and all that, but now it's really apparent on that. And with all the foreclosures and short sales, you know, the title work's really important. So just make sure that you have a good support group there. You can't leave, Jane.
I have an appointment. Me too, she's just opening the door so I can.
Call the cashier.
No, you can't wait. Going back to nutrition, I was asked why I was taking on the bike. Nutrition is very important. You know, we always joke around about carving up before a race. Hey, that's the fun part of a race, right? You go eat pizza and pasta. But it's very important that you have the right fuel for that race. Throughout this Ironman, like I said, there's no lunch breaks, there's no dinner breaks, and I was out there for almost 14 hours. I mean, I have a hard time going about 2 hours without eating right now. So, you know, definitely when you're spending all that energy, you want to make sure that you have the proper fuel. Same thing for our mind. You know, what are you putting in your mind? I hear people all the time. Man, real estate market's so bad. Man, it's horrible. Man, nothing's selling, nothing. You know, whenever I go to a pool, I met a guy who, he says he's a realtor. I don't know. You know, he's a pilot too. You know, I don't know. So I don't know if he really sells or doesn't sell. But he's like, man, this market's horrible. When was the last time you sold something? Well, as a matter of fact, I just had a closing yesterday. Really? But when was the time you had one before that? Oh, it was last week. What? Well, nothing's selling. How are you doing that? You know, and then I saw him another time, and he starts bringing it up again. I can tell you, I started avoiding him at the pool. You know, I mean, I really did, because that's not the mindset that I have. I can tell you, I just pulled some stats here, that in November, in Rutherford County, there are 238 houses sold. Okay, so that's 400 and, what is that? Almost 500 transaction sites. I mean, kid, are you not happy enough with getting 500 transaction sites? See you, kid. You know, I mean, how many of those did you get? That I know you can't get all of them, but, you know, we've talked about before, what percentage of that do you want? There's enough transactions out there that you can make a good living if you're willing to go out and work for them. So there are things selling. Maybe they aren't selling, you know, as much as they had in the past. I don't know. I look at it, I see things. I mean, I think they're taking off. I think good things are happening. But it's really your mindset and what you put into your mind, because that's going to be what you get back. I was talking to another agent not too long ago, and we were talking about how once you get on this wave and you start getting things going, that things start selling, your success breeds success. And I think it's that mindset that you have, and I think that's what you project to other people is, that good things are happening, that you're positive. I think people see that or they feel it, there's a vibe there. But, you know, what if I went to this race and was like, well, I'm going out there today, you know, it's going to be a long day. I don't know, I just hope I don't drown on the swim, you know, and if I make it, maybe you know, I mean, if you can't, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier about visualizing, I'd see myself complete this race many times. You put those positive thoughts in your head, and it's the same thing with anything else. Tools of the trade, you need the right tools. I started out on what is considered a cheap bicycle, a $400 bike, which, you know, most people, if you're used to Walmart numbers, it's, you know, that would seem expensive. And one of the deals my wife and I had